Let's say you're doing your SAT and you just know that there's an easier way to approach a certain question, or timing might be an issue for you in the math section. If you fall into either of those categories, this problem's for you. My name is Paul Pasolk. I'm the owner of Ivy Masters Learning Center, and today we're going to be looking at Test 5, Section 3, Number 5, which reads, in the above equation, k is a constant. If x equals 9, what is the value of k? Most students would try this algebraically. But if algebra is not your strong suit, how could you get around it? Well, there's an unwritten rule for square root problems on SAT, which is the following. You're always going to have a perfect square underneath the root. So if I go to my answer choices, answer choice A, 1 plus 2 is 3. That's not a perfect square. 7 plus 2 is 9. That is a perfect square. 16 plus 2, 18. That's not a perfect square. And 79 plus 2, that is a perfect square. So those are really the only two that I have to check. And then when I plug it in, keeping in mind that x is 9, well, 7 plus 2 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3 minus 9 is going to give you negative 6. That's too small. So I know it's 79. I can mark my answer and move on. 79 plus 2 is 81. Square root of 81, sure enough, is 9 minus 9 is 0. Tip for square root problems. Always use your answer choices. Could you solve this one algebraically? Yes, you could. Now, let's say you didn't know, and you should know that there's a perfect square under the root. I'd say that's the easiest way to do it. You always want to start with one of the middle answer choices. Why? Because if you do, you know if you could eliminate more than one answer. So if I tested out 16. If I did 16 plus 2, 18, square root of 18 is going to be a little bit more than 4. So 4 minus 9 is going to give you a negative 5. That's going to be too small. Since it's too small, you can eliminate A, B, and C, and you know the answer is D without doing any of the work. So always start with one of the middle answer choices when you have these in order, especially for a square root problem like this. We could also do this algebraically. If we did, I'll show you the solution, but like I said, you don't want to do algebra for square root problems. So here's your k plus 2 underneath the root minus 9 equals 0. You have to isolate the square root first by adding 9 to both sides. And when you square both sides, the left side, it's just going to get rid of the square root, and I'm left with k plus 2. On the right side, I wind up with 81. And then when you subtract 2 from both sides, you're going to get your answer D, 79. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who has trouble with square root problems. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.